It won't be like you're not a part of Facebook. You're not a part of Facebook.
My name's on the masthead.
You might want to check again.
Oh, if you already know the answers to your questions, then why ask?
What's the most you ever lost on a coin toss?
I like the way you die, boy.
I don't want to be a product of my environment.
Now answer my question. Were you rushing or were you dragging?
My boy's awake at smile.
What is up, Film Fixation Podcast? We're back. My name is Jaron Allred. I am co-host of the Film Fixation Podcast. I'm joined by my other co-host, Austin Hyatt.
Happy to be here.
And we're going to be bringing two movies to your attention today. Deadpool and Wolverine and M. Night Shyamalan's Trap.
M. Night Shyamalan's masterpiece, Trap.
Yep. We've got some different views on these two movies. I think this is the biggest disparity in reviews for maybe two movies combined that we've done on the pod.
Could get heated.
Could be a little bit heated. Yeah, we'll see. We're prepared for that. We're prepared for a fight.
Yep.
But before we do that, we'll get into the film news. We'll catch you guys up since we've been gone for a little bit. Austin has that for us.
Okay. We are just going to skim over a few little news points. There's more stuff that's happening, but we probably don't have time to cover it all.
Yeah.
Horizon 2 theatrical release canceled.
Yep.
Because of Horizon 1's poor performance.
Mm-hmm.
So that's kind of still up in the air. I'm sure it'll get released somehow, but it might be like a Peacock thing. I don't know.
Yeah. I mean, it was a dangerous bet in the beginning because Kevin Costner self-financed these movies. I think he sold like a few of his estates to be able to do it.
It's crazy.
And I didn't see it. You didn't see it either.
I didn't see it.
Our friend Nick saw it, and he said it was very like kind of like television, like a television movie.
That's what I heard, because he stepped away from Yellowstone because of like creative differences or whatever, and instead just went and made a TV movie, according to reports. I haven't seen it either, but that's pretty disappointing for like movies at large.
Yeah. Isn't there supposed to be 4 parts?
I think so.
That's insane. That really, I mean, I feel bad for Kevin Costner, but it was probably not the best idea to self-finance a 4-part.
Are you a Costner
Western head? No, not really. I don't think he's a great like leading man. I think he has some good movies, though.
Yeah. Okay.
Actually, not really.
Elijah Turner would disagree with you, dude.
He likes him?
I think so.
What movies?
Dances with Wolves.
Screw Dances with Wolves. But.
Yeah. What else? He told me to watch something else, and I was really rude about it. I regret that.
Bill Durham, Tin Cup.
Yeah, it had to be Tin Cup.
Tin Cup, the golf. Oh yeah, it's got to be the golfing movie.
Maybe he doesn't. I've never heard him talk about that. We should put him onto that. Put him onto that. Elijah, if you're listening.
Draft Day.
Draft Day.
We've talked about Draft Day.
I've seen clips about that. Yeah. Anyway, we've talked about that. Yeah. Okay. Next bit of news: Russo brothers are going to direct, or in talks to direct, the next 2 Avengers movies.
Yeah.
We don't like reporting on Marvel news, but here we are reporting on Deadpool and Wolverine.
It's going to be a Marvel-centric episode.
Yeah.
So
should have had Kaysen on, man. He would love this.
Yeah, I know.
He would love this Marvel stuff. Okay. There's that Skibbity Toilet movie from Michael Bay. Not even going to report on that. Inside Out 2 is officially the world's highest-grossing animated film ever.
Wow.
So
that was unexpected.
Yeah.
But
that's good news, bad news. Good news that movies are making money again. Bad news that it's like a sequel and it fits within Disney's plan to just release a regurgitated IP.
Yeah.
Which sucks. So we'll see how that all turns out in the long run. But it's good. That's good, I guess. Did you see it?
No.
It's not that bad, man.
I should. I'll
it's good.
Watch it.
It's good.
I mean, what's the studio? Illumination?
Yeah.
Doing the same thing, with how many Despicable Me Minion movies are there?
I think there's 6 total in that MCU Minion cinematic universe.
The Minion cinematic universe.
But yeah, why didn't we keep up on that? We're gonna do our next episode
is going to be ranking all the Minion Despicable Me movies.
Illumination-thon.
Yeah.
What else do they make?
That might be good. Shrek. No, it's
Illumination.
DreamWorks.
No, yeah.
That's
I was like,
DreamWorks.
what? They made that duck movie. Why are we talking about this?
The
Our
duck
viewers don't care.
movie where they migration?
Yeah, Migration with Aquafina.
Oh, she's a great voice actress.
That's well known.
Yeah.
Okay, another Marvel bit of news. Robert Downey Jr. cast as Dr. Doom.
Yeah.
So they pivoted away from our boy Jonathan Majors, not our boy.
Not our boy. Yeah. No
Jaren's boy.
No stock in Jonathan Majors.
Pivoted away from him and went back to Robert Downey Jr. My initial impression of this as a former Marvel addict was, man, that's pretty desperate. That's pretty crazy.
It is pretty desperate.
On both parts. Like Marvel knowing that people love Robert Downey Jr. and he's getting even more successful as a serious actor and wanting him. And also Robert being like, man, I just did an awesome job in Oppenheimer and now I'm going to go back to the MCU. It's kind of interesting.
I couldn't make up my mind about it because, first of all, I think Robert Downey Jr. is a fantastic actor.
Sure.
Right? I think he would do a good job, and he probably will do a good job.
Yeah.
And I think a lot of the doubters are going to be proven wrong about it. But also, it seems silly when he's iconic for Iron Man. People aren't going to be able to see him 100% as Dr. Doom.
There's no way.
You know? And if you're planning on doing some sort of like, you know, I'm going to use Marvel terms here, right?
Okay,
some sort of like variant of of Dr. Doom where he like is Iron Man and he turned bad. I guess there's like a comic storyline about that. I think that seems like it doesn't really do the character that much justice.
Yeah.
Because Dr. Doom is like a fan favorite in the Marvel Cinematic Universe. So we'll see. The Russo brothers have a good track record with
Avengers movies.
Captain America Civil War, Captain America Winter Soldier, which is one of the best ones.
Yeah.
And then Avengers Endgame and Infinity War. All great movies.
Those are the best.
Yeah. So you're going back to your roots. I think should be good. Do we want old Marvel? We don't want new Marvel. You know?
I don't know if I want old Marvel either. You know?
You just want no Marvel?
No Marvel, dude. Take it off the table.
I don't know. I'll watch it, I think.
I'll certainly
watch it. Yeah, it's an Avengers movie. There hasn't been a bad Avengers movie yet, I don't think.
Yeah, we might have to rewatch some of those.
A little bit.
I love Age of Ultron. I don't know what the hate is.
I saw it like 3 times in theaters.
Yeah, it's great.
Yeah.
So yeah, we'll see. Hopefully we're Marvel pilled again by the time that rolls around.
I'm so ready.
You already
After
are.
Deadpool, Wolverine.
Yeah.
It's back.
I believe it.
Yeah.
Speaking of Deadpool and Wolverine, achieved the highest opening weekend for an R-rated movie ever.
Beating like Deadpool 2 and Deadpool's previous records.
Yeah.
That's so strange.
Now it has become the highest grossing R-rated film ever.
Really?
As of like yesterday or today. Very recent.
That's so crazy.
Yeah.
That is just so crazy.
I mean, it's MCU. Like, you got to roll that in there. People are going to show up for MCU no matter how bad it is.
Yeah. And it's also like their fan base is also people who see like PG and PG-13 movies.
Yeah.
You know?
Yeah.
They'll like make I don't know. I mean, it's going to garner a big crowd either way. It's like, it's not even really R. I don't know. Like it's a Marvel movie.
It's really interesting, and we'll get into this, but I was like, who is this movie for? Now that it's in the MCU. Like before, when it was Fox, I totally understood the first 2 Deadpool movies and the appeal. This one, I was sitting there and like people were laughing at jokes, and I was like, I'm just not getting. Like,
I want to dive into
people
that.
Are at.
What was your crowd like when you went to see this yesterday?
Dude, it was weird. I was laughing at things nobody else was laughing at.
Yeah.
And then they were laughing at things I wasn't laughing at. There wasn't like a lot of cheering, which nowadays with these multiversal movies, especially within the MCU, you expect behind every reveal, and there's like that pause for the audience applause.
Yeah.
You expect people to get riled up about it. It's been 2 weeks since the release, so nobody was cheering, but the theater was pretty full, so I couldn't get a good gauge on people. Yeah,
in Utah.
Sunday in Utah at 8:30. 8:30
Yeah.
showing. So
my theater was packed too. I just barely found one seat in the back left corner. And as I was walking in by myself, there was this like guy in his late 40s who was getting mad at his wife who had to like go put her hydro flask back in the car. Or Stanley. It's like, we're gonna be late.
Hey, dude.
And I was like, oh my gosh, like this guy's an ass. Like, why?
Come on, man.
Is this the crowd
that
I'm seeing this movie with? Like these old dudes who just, I don't know, love Deadpool and the his raunchy humor or whatever. But my crowd was pretty good, actually.
That's good. Pretty energetic or what?
Yeah, they were laughing at stuff, and I thought it was great to be in a packed theater.
Yeah,
nice.
You love that.
Yeah.
So. I can't think of the last time I was at like a real bona fide comedy in theaters where like I'm laughing along with people, you know?
Yeah. That, like no hard feelings. Like it was just us.
Yeah, that's true. Nobody else in that theater was laughing. That's crazy.
Yeah.
But yeah, I guess anyone but you. People were chuckling.
You saw that in theaters?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, me too. I got so mad when I saw that because I was next to like a bunch of middle-aged women to my right. They were just talking and being dumb, but so
cool.
What's next on the news there?
I'm gonna do a quick 3. Okay. MCU becomes the first franchise ever to pass 30 billion at the box office.
Wow.
I think that's an interesting stat. I'm like, what else could even get close?
Yeah, that's what I was thinking.
Because MCU has 30 plus movies. If you're averaging like 800 mil, you're getting there. But like no other franchise has over 20 movies except maybe like the Bond movies.
Is Star Wars?
Star Wars has 11 movies, and so they're somewhere around like 15 or 20 billion.
Mm-hmm.
But I mean, that's still a far cry from 30. But anyway, I just thought that was interesting. Inside Out becomes the 10th highest grossing film ever. Inside Out 2.
That is so crazy. It's not as good as the first one, right?
I don't know.
Is it better?
I haven't seen the first one in a long time, so
I liked the first one.
Yeah, the first one's great. Second one's good. I mean, yeah. I don't know. I think this probably resonates with more adults as well. Mm-hmm. I know my sister has been posting like anxiety clips every day since the movie came out, like 2 months ago. So that resonates with some people. So maybe that's the appeal. But okay, last little bit here. Mike Feist is reported to play young Haymitch in the Hunger Games prequel. That's good news for Grace. I actually showed her and she was pretty disappointed.
Why?
She doesn't want him as Haymitch.
Isn't Mike Feist like 5'6" and Haymitch is like 6 feet tall?
Is Haymitch Woody Harrelson?
Woody Harrelson, yeah.
Yeah, probably. There's probably a high difference there. Let me get IT on that.
Harrelson's probably like 5'10", I'm assuming.
Well, Caesar is 5'8". And he's pretty tall next to Caesar.
Caesar's 5'8"?
I just made that up. I just like know that. No, Woody's 5'10", dude.
That's okay, 5'10". That's impressive. He dunks in White Men Can't Jump.
So White Men Can Jump.
So it's like a rim grazer.
Oh, okay, sure, yeah. Mike Feist is taller than Haymitch. He's 6 foot.
That's a lie.
There's no way, dude.
Is Josh O'Connor
is 6'5" then.
Yeah. And there's no way.
It says 6'1". There's no way.
There's no way.
Feist is lying. He's 5'10". Tops. He's shorter than Zendaya, isn't he?
Yes, he totally is.
Zendaya's 5'10". Feist has got to be 5'9".
This is egregious. This is horrible.
This is why you listen.
I'm out on Mike Feist.
This is the bombshell reporting you listen in for.
Yeah.
Folks.
We got to post that.
Yeah.
Mike Feist says he's 6 feet tall on Google. It's like he reported it. Or, you know? What if he like went into his Wikipedia every day and like changed his height?
There's got to be guys like that, dude.
Yeah.
He's got to be one of them.
There's got to be.
Okay, well, that's all the news I've got. So, other than that, presidential election, I'm voting for RFK Jr. and Jaron there's voting for Trump. Just kidding. You see,
you don't know.
Oh well, I guess I'm kidding about mine. Did you see that RFK Jr. planted a dead bear in Central Park?
He planted a dead bear.
He like found a dead bear on the highway, drove it around in his car for like a day, and then left it in Central Park on a bike as a joke.
What's your source?
Him. He said this in an interview. This has been like a 10-year mystery, apparently. They found a black bear in Central Park 10 years ago, and they were like, why is there a bear here? There couldn't be a bear here. Anyway, and he admitted to it in an interview today.
Really?
And he's like, let's see what the press does with that one.
Let's see what the press says about that one.
Sorry. That was a good impression, wasn't it?
Was that
RFK
Jr. did?
Yeah.
Holy cow.
I saw a black bear in the side of the street.
That's actually really good.
Thank you. I've never tried that before.
Dude, Jaren's going to be doing that voice for the rest of the pod.
Yeah. Can you imagine? Everybody would turn it off right now.
Yeah, they probably already have, honestly.
Yeah, that's true.
Okay, well, let's hop.
They're going to be talking about
Deadpool and Wolverine. They're not going to rank all of M. Night's 8 crappy movies.
Dude, we will.
Just kidding.
We'll get there.
Some of them were good, guys. That was a joke. Whoa, that was a joke. He directed Avatar: Last Airbender, right?
Yeah, he did.
Okay.
I was talking to Joss yesterday, and I was like, dude, we saw Trap. Sucked. He was like, what are some good movies M. Night's directed? I was like, I don't know.
Signs and The Sixth Sense.
That's exactly what I said.
Yeah.
And nothing else. So
we had a good time at Old. Did we not?
That movie sucks. But yeah, we did. It was like one of the first movies after COVID or during COVID. So it's the most fun we could have.
Okay. So is that it?
That's it.
That's it. All right. Deadpool and Wolverine. Let me pull up the synopsis here. Directed by Sean Levy, who also directed Free Guy. And all of the Night at the Museum movies. Real Steel, a favorite.
Dude,
on this podcast.
Seriously.
And Cheaper by the Dozen, which is solid.
Yeah.
I think. Nostalgic. Listless Wade Wilson toils away in civilian life with his days as the morally flexible mercenary Deadpool behind him. But when his home world faces an existential threat, Wade must reluctantly suit up against an even more reluctant Wolverine. Sitting at 3.7 average on Letterboxd. I gave it, a 3 stars.
3 stars. Solid.
You gave it 2.5. The reviews are looking pretty good. It's got a 79% critic score on Rotten Tomatoes and a 96% audience score. That makes sense. 8.1 on IMDb.
Wow.
That's super high.
What's the average on Letterboxd?
3.7.
Wow.
That's like above.
Yeah.
Like Fight Club. Or no. Is it not?
Probably.
No, it's not.
No. Fight Club's a 3.8.
It's above Trap. That's crazy.
That is crazy.
That's actually insane. And on Metacritic, it's got a 56%. Okay, so there's the... Google's got a 4.5 out of 5.
Dude, who's
Google
reviewing their
reviews.
stuff on Google?
I don't know. Some weird people. Rowan Knighthood. I've waited for more than 2 years for the cinematic masterpiece. Okay, I'm not going to read any of that.
Don't read it. Finish it.
No.
Don't give Rowan a platform, dude.
Rowan Knighthood.
Dude, Fight Club's at a 4.3.
I know. I was
We're chilling. We're chilling.
But Rotten Tomatoes score is bad.
Oh,
right?
yeah.
It's like a 56 or something. Okay, so I saw this on my birthday. Everybody canceled on me. And then I was canceled sick on everybody else.
I was sick.
No, dude, you're good. You're good. Okay. You're good. Kaysen was,
So don't.
What?
Go ahead.
Nothing. He just didn't want to see it. His legs hurt. He pooped his pants.
Yeah.
Just kidding. He didn't. But
he hadn't seen the other Deadpools.
He hates Marvel.
He hates
Marvel more than anything in the world.
Dude, it's one of those things where, like, you'll get this. The one buddy that doesn't want to do gay stuff with you is the gay one. Because he's not, like, secure in his sexuality.
You think he's a closeted
Kaysen
Marvel
is a
fanatic.
Closeted Marvel fan. He's just not secure.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Here's the thing. I think he would love the Marvel Cinematic Universe. I think it's tailored to him and his taste. What? He hasn't seen any of them, so he can't.
I think that's bold. I do agree with that he would like them.
Yeah.
Like, he likes... I don't know how to say this in a way that won't give me any
Deadpool's like literally him.
He
like
is.
the bits.
Yeah.
You know?
That's true. That's a great point. That's a great point. No, he likes like the Bond movies and the Jason Bourne movies, and I feel like those are in the same family of like an interconnected. Don't know where I'm going with that. Never
Like
mind. I'll pivot away from that.
Classic characters, or
yeah, like classic characters that have like a seemingly endless reiteration. Not the Bourne, but
yeah,
James Bond. So I could see him liking it. You know,
yeah,
I agree with you. We'll have to get him into it.
We need to.
I've been trying, dude.
So like we were talking about earlier, you know, packed house. Still 2 weeks later after its release, people are going to go see this, and I enjoyed it. I had a good time. It's pretty much what I thought it would be. A lot of fan service.
Yeah.
You know, a lot of jokes. Deadpool is talking like nonstop the entire time. Ryan Reynolds. I mean, if you find his humor charming and hilarious, then you're gonna love this.
Yeah.
You know, it's gonna be a euphoric 2.5 hours while you just listen to him just not shut his mouth. You know.
Yeah.
But some of the jokes worked. I think you have to very, not like very, but they make a lot of jokes that like not the average person would know.
Dude,
you
that's
know?
exactly that. That's why I was wondering who is this movie for? Because for somebody like me, it was the perfect movie, but I still didn't enjoy it. Let me explain.
Yeah.
I understood all of the meta like Hollywood jokes.
Yeah.
You know, like the Daredevil joke about Ben Affleck. I get that. And I understand that. I also understood all of the Marvel jokes and like Marvel going downhill and stuff.
Yeah.
And so you have to be somebody who is in the know for like Hollywood as a whole. You also have to be a devoted follower of Marvel.
Yeah.
And also someone who is willing to recognize that Marvel kind of sucks now, because that joke they like hit and hit again. And I was like, there can't be that many of us, you know?
Yeah.
But
and it's kind of nice to hear them like bag on Marvel when we've been doing that for like the past 3-4 years. It's cool to see them just admit it themselves.
Yeah, to an extent. Like I feel like we'll get into this, but go ahead with that thought.
Well,
here's what I was going to say. Sorry.
Yeah, I hear you.
I loved those jokes for the first like 2 or 3 times, and when the movie was just getting started out.
Yeah.
But by the end of the movie, when they're still making jokes about how the MCU sucks now, and the movie has like genuinely no real story, no stakes or anything, it's like, okay, that's funny that you're making fun of the MCU, but you also just put out a movie that still has like no substance. Yeah. And I get that that's what Deadpool is all about to an extent. I don't know. I feel like the first 2 movies had
a good plot.
And this was just like one task to another. A challenge arises and then like is just instantly dealt with. Yeah. There's no stakes. And so that's where the jokes kind of didn't work for me.
And I like what you said about the plot, right? Because I think the first Deadpool has a very good plot. You know, it's a great origin story. And this one, everything just feels like thrown in there. It feels like Ryan Reynolds and Hugh Jackman just wanted to make a movie together, and they wanted to just bounce off each other in every scene that they're in, you know, and just have a good time. And there's so much fan service that they just had to fit in, you know, that it makes the story pretty incoherent and lifeless, you know, when this could have been something a lot greater. I think when you get 2 iconic characters like that, you could like, I don't know. Like, I can't think of a better plot on the top of my head, you know, but it feels like you could have put more thought into making it, you know, not seem so chaotic.
Yeah.
And they try to make it somewhat emotional with like Wolverine fighting his, you know, his trauma from what he did on his world that he's from or whatever. Yeah,
which we never get to see.
And it's like thrown in there. And it just doesn't resonate like it should have, I feel like, because it just, the movie's tone is so, like, if nothing is serious, then nothing is going to be, you know, you can't take anything else serious in the movie when they bring it up and they try to be serious, you know? But like you said with the plot, like you just kind of go along with it.
Mhm.
You don't know where it's heading at all. You have like literally no indication of where it's gonna go.
Yeah,
which you know, I didn't like very much. And like when they said they need to get to the bald girl, whatever. Like what's her name? Cassandra Nova. They're like, oh, we can't get to her, because she'll just like kill us. She's got like mind powers, you know. She's Charles, Professor X's like unborn twin or something.
Yeah,
like, they had to send her down there as like an infant into this weird world that you'd only understand if you saw like 2 seasons of Loki.
Yeah. Which, have you watched that?
I watched the first season of Loki.
Yeah.
So like I understood what the TVA was. But
yeah.
But when they were like, oh, we can't get to her unless we get Juggernaut's helmet. Like, okay. And obviously they're just going to get Juggernaut's helmet, you know? And there's no real, like, you didn't feel the stakes. I don't know.
Yeah. And it's summed up perfectly when they first show the Time Ripper and Deadpool's like, holy MacGuffin or whatever.
Yeah.
And then everything is just like, we've got to get this MacGuffin. And the helmet becomes a MacGuffin that they just have to get.
Mm.
So it's like, build a team, go do it.
Yeah.
Doesn't work out. Build a team, go do it. Doesn't work out. There's like never any stakes. So yeah, I just had a really hard time getting into it. And again, like I genuinely thought a lot of it was funny. I was laughing a lot.
Yeah.
But I was still so bored. Like, and it's really hard to explain. There are very few movies that have made me feel like that, where I'm laughing and having a good time that way, but also just like waiting for it to be over.
Yeah.
Like near the end when Deadpool turns to the camera and says, we're in the home stretch. I promise we're almost done. Yeah. I'm like, man, thank you. Like I was falling asleep over here, you know?
Really?
And so, yeah, I don't know, but I don't know how your feeling was with that. If you were like entertained the whole time, but once you recognize the trend of there just being no stakes, and really I felt it when Wolverine and Deadpool are fighting their second fight.
Yeah. I'm like,
in the Honda Odyssey. I'm like, again, who is this for? Like,
yeah,
I get that if you're a devoted comic book fan, maybe you just want to see these two characters fight, and I get that. But I was like, this is just filler, you know?
Yeah.
So,
and I get why they did that. Like when I was a kid, I would go on YouTube and I'd watch like Spider-Man versus Batman. Like animated YouTube videos just of them fighting. Like who would win? And so that felt kind of cool, I guess, to see just them having it out. You know, people wanted to see Wolverine versus Hulk, which like they showed a little comic book cover, you know, still of you can see Hulk like in the reflection of Wolverine's claws. But they should have fought. You know, if you're going to go, like, if you know properly, like, what the fans want to see, and you're going to dive into the fan service, might as well throw in that. Instead of, like, 2 Deadpool and Wolverine fights, you know?
Yeah.
But, yeah, it's like, it's just thrown in there, and it's not good on rewatch. Mm-hmm. And it's like, I don't know. And nobody wins, obviously.
Yeah.
It's just like, kind of needless action. But I was pretty moderately entertained the whole time, I'd say. Maybe, a little bit towards the end. I was like ready for it to be done, you know. But I didn't wait till the post-credit scene, and I felt I was literally the only one in the theater who
same.
I watched the montage of like the making of the X-Men or whatever.
Oh, I didn't even stay for that.
Oh, you didn't stay for that? So. That was kind of cool. Okay. It's just like a behind the scenes of like X-Men, and they play a sweet song or whatever. Cool. I don't know, but and then it's like, okay. And the actual credits are like rolling. I'm like, I'm not going to wait here for 10 minutes.
Yeah.
And I heard it like wasn't even worth it or whatever. Like it was just a joke for you staying that long like an idiot.
Yeah.
And
well, no, and I felt that. That's an interesting point you made. As soon as the credits roll, I get up and I leave, which is what you do in a normal movie.
Yeah.
But dude, me 2 years ago, I'm sticking there. I'm watching the post-credit scene. And I'm staying for a few more minutes and watching the post-credit scene, you know? And then I'm going and rewatching it on YouTube.
Yeah.
Me today, get up, don't even care. People are staring at me like I'm crazy walking out.
That was me too. Yeah.
Yeah.
I heard whispers.
Believe that guy? He's gonna miss the post-credit scene.
Does this guy not know that there's like 3 more scenes he has to watch?
Watch Marvel much? There's a post-credit scene you gotta stay for.
But it's also like, I told you before this came out that Ryan Reynolds was like, if Endgame and Infinity War were the most influential to the storyline of Marvel, then Deadpool and Wolverine's number 3. And it's probably the least to, you don't even need to watch it at all.
Yeah.
So that was kind of I don't know why they said that. It's probably just like making fun of you again for thinking that it would be a movie like that.
Right.
But yeah, I just think people are sick of having to watch 20 different things to fully understand, Deadpool. It was impossible to get our friends to watch like Deadpool 1 and 2 or and it's not even worth it anymore. So.
It's really not, and that was another thing I had a hard time with the humor. Like, they're making jokes about how the multiversal thing is overdone and like people are already tired of it. Yes, that's true. But then you make a movie and more than half of it is just like cameos from old actors.
Yeah.
And like, I get that it's it's making fun of itself, whatever.
Yeah.
But there's still a balance of, you need some substance behind self-parody. I don't know.
What was your favorite cameo?
Probably Wesley Snipes' Blade.
Really?
Yeah.
I haven't seen the original Blade.
Neither have I, but I knew they were going to play into Mahershala Ali's Blade.
Yeah.
That I've been anticipating for years.
Yeah.
And it's never going to get made.
I know.
And I also, that was one cameo that was spoiled for me. So I was like,
oh, really?
Waiting for it.
I looked on like the Letterboxd cast and I saw like Elektra.
Yeah.
So I knew Jennifer Garner was going to be in it. But I haven't seen that. That's like before the MCU.
Yeah, that was all Fox stuff.
But there was a few jokes that like I could tell people in the audience didn't understand. Like a few obvious ones, like in the very, very beginning when he's like, there was a couple sitting next to me. And the guy or Deadpool is like, there are 206 bones in the human body, 207 if I'm watching Gossip Girl.
Yeah.
And that's obviously a reference to his wife, Blake Lively, who is a character on Gossip Girl.
Yeah.
And then right when he said that, everybody laughed. And then the girl next to me was like, I don't get it. I wanted to whisper over because I didn't hear her husband or boyfriend like explain it to her.
Yeah. Hey, I got this.
I probably should have done. Yeah, like, that's a reference to his wife who's on Gossip Girl. And the bone is it's in reference to I'm just kidding.
No, go on. That's one thing I forgot. There was a girl in the audience that would yell things before they happened.
Oh my goodness.
So like oh gosh, what was it? Oh, I can't remember. But a character doesn't have something or they don't.
I hate people like that more than anybody.
Oh, dude, I wanted to kill her, honestly.
Yeah.
Was
she close? Was she close?
No, she was like 3 rows down. That's how I knew she was yelling because I could hear her. I'm at the very back row. It must have been, I'm just going to say it was when Wolverine stopped and was like, wait, you don't know that they can get me back to or fix things?
Yeah.
She would yell like, he doesn't know. And it's like, who is that for?
I would kill her.
I know. Yeah. It was terrible. She did it like 6 times that I could hear.
Oh my goodness.
And I was like, whoever's sitting by her needs to make a citizen's arrest.
Yeah.
Or execute her. One of the two.
Dude. Yeah, that's so maddening. You think you're more entertaining than the movie that we're watching?
Crazy.
You think you're funnier?
Yeah.
You think you're more talented than the writers who wrote the movie? And you can add to the script?
Yeah.
No. You sit there and you listen.
Yep. Shut up.
And if you have a question, no.
Yep.
You don't ask it. Okay. Dude, I saw a TikTok the other day, and it was this girl who was complaining about the date she was on. It was like a 3rd date or something. She's like, he took me to a movie, or we watched a movie or something, and she's like, yeah, like I was talking over it. I was like, trying to add some humor, some comedy. Right, guys?
Ugh.
And then she was like, yeah, and then I brought it up later, and he was like, yeah, that kind of bugged me when you were like talking during the whole movie.
Yeah.
And all the comments are like, yeah, you're a moron for talking
good.
during the movie. Yeah. Like nobody was on her side. Like, yeah, don't talk.
Yeah.
Don't talk. Watch
Good.
the movie.
Good.
You know?
Man, I can't believe people like that.
I know. If somebody like in our friend group like did that, like, I don't know. I don't think that they'd be coming back from that.
No.
And they were serious about it, you know?
Grace used to do this thing where we don't really watch scary movies anymore. So
she would look up the ending, or
she would look up the ending, which pissed me the hell off.
Yeah.
Or if it's like a scary part, she'd be like,
talk.
Oh, this is so fun. This is so fun. Like just trying to distract herself. And I'm like, shut up, Grace. You're killing the suspense.
Yeah.
I've had some other friends that do that, and it's maddening. But
that
Grace
bothers me.
Grace doesn't do it anymore.
It's like, it's obviously not a huge deal, right?
If
you're watching a scary movie with friends, you can expect people to talk. But if I'm really invested in a moment and I want to be scared, and I feel the movie's like got a hold of me, you know, then if you talk, you just take me out of it.
Absolutely.
You know, it's also because you're scared.
Yeah.
You're trying to talk yourself out of being scared.
Yeah. And I'm there to feel that.
I want to be in that situation. You want to get out of it. Yeah. I want to be in that.
Hey, we're preaching to the choir here, dude. Yeah. There is a fine line, because I do, if I'm watching a scary movie with, and this goes for comedy as well.
Yeah.
I'm watching a movie with friends. I want there to be some connection where there's like an energy where you can all feel it. For example, some time ago, me and some friends watched About Time. Yeah. Like by the end, you're all crying. And like, that's such a special thing to like feel that together.
Yes.
But there's a line where you're making it about, anyway, this sounds so stupid. When you're just making it about yourself and then taking everybody else out of the movie. But
yeah,
that was a big tangent. So that's my bad. I took us out of that.
Dude, I was right there with
Okay.
That got me pissed hearing about that girl talking.
Okay, thank you. You did make a point about you think you're more interesting or more entertaining than the writers and Ryan Reynolds.
Yeah.
That's one great thing about this movie, is like I feel like they have Ryan Reynolds' humor dialed in.
Mm-hmm.
Like it would be very difficult to do an entire movie like that where you, like you said, you're talking the entire time. Like you have to keep up the same energy and same delivery of all of these jokes.
Mm-hmm.
I feel like that'd be pretty difficult. I don't know. But I think that's one strong point of the movie, of like the writers know what they're about. They know what jokes are working, and they just churn them out one after the other.
So this happened kind of in the midst of the writers' strike, right? So once they had the script ready, and then the writer's strike happened, and they decided to go along with filming. So they couldn't make any edits to that, or else you give somebody else a writing credit.
Yeah.
Like Ryan Reynolds or whatever. So he couldn't improvise on set.
Yeah.
So I think pretty much all of it is just the original script that they had, which I think is good. I think, it didn't feel too improv-y.
No.
Like the jokes were pretty on the nose about something and not like didn't make sense, or it's like a deep callback to something, or but yeah. So it was decent. It was, if you're a fan of Marvel, I think it's better than it's better than everything we've had lately, right? Would you say?
Yes. And I had a hard time figuring out if it was just because it's so different. Like it just feels so distinct from the MCU because like it's an R-rated movie. There's so much more blood. There's so much more violence. There's so much more that you can do with the humor because it's R-rated.
And they have like Fox properties and
but yeah, if you're an MCU enjoyer, and especially if you're somebody like us who used to love it and is kind of cooling on it, I think it's worthwhile. Or if you're just a guy who likes Ryan Reynolds' humor.
Yeah.
Which I feel like that's a huge target audience.
Or if you like Wolverine.
Yeah.
Wolverine's in it and he's Wolverine. You know? So.
Yeah. So go see it. It was great.
Yeah.
Best movie.
But I don't think it's better than Deadpool 1, 2, or obviously it's not better than Logan.
Better than X-Men Origins Wolverine.
I like X-Men Origins Wolverine.
I might have ranked X-Men Origins Wolverine higher, but
I think Liv Schreiber is good in it.
Yeah, that's true.
I like the brotherhood dynamic.
Yeah.
How they turn against each other. It feels really personal.
dude.
And the girl turns on him, you know.
Yeah, I'm there for that, dude.
Yeah, it's like I don't know. It's classic. He's like a lumberjack. He's cool.
Yeah,
you know. I don't know.
I watched it right after I listened. You should listen to this. It's like a Marvel podcast, but it's about Logan. It's like a true crime thing. It's really cool.
Oh no, I know what you're talking about.
Have you listened to it?
I listened to the Batman one.
Okay,
I didn't listen to the
Wolverine one's really good.
Really?
But he's like living in solitude in Alaska.
Oh yeah.
And Origins is that vibe.
That's what I want to do.
Gosh, what was I gonna say right before that? Son of a gun. Oh, sorry. When you talked about Liv Schreiber, that reminded me of one of the jokes I really liked when Sabretooth and Wolverine fight, and then Deadpool like takes his head off, and he's like, "This is your Queen Furiosa."
Yeah, I liked the Mad Max references right there. I thought it was cool. There's obviously like some cool homages to other movies.
Yeah.
You know, like it's a team up. You get to see Gambit. You know, like that movie was canceled. None of the people know that.
Yeah.
And Channing Tatum, that was such a specific choice to like make his accent bad.
So I didn't understand that. Yeah. I understood why Channing Tatum was cast because that was like notoriously a fan cast.
Well, he had a Gambit movie.
Okay.
That was
getting
in
started.
Development. He went to like Comic-Con as Gambit.
Man.
It got canceled with the Fox Disney merger.
I didn't understand the accent. Is Gambit like from Louisiana?
I guess he's like Jamaican or something.
Caribbean?
Yeah.
Okay, cool.
So I guess that's comic accurate. But yeah.
It was pretty bad. Okay, anything else you liked about Deadpool Wolverine?
No, nothing else I liked.
I want to watch it again. I want to have a Deadpool marathon.
Really?
Yeah.
Okay.
I think that could be fun. I haven't seen the other two for a couple of years.
Yeah.
So I think that might be fun.
I've seen the first one like quite a few times. I think. Like 2 or 3 times. But okay. Should we talk about favorite part?
Yeah, let's do it.
What's your favorite part?
You go first. Let me think about it.
I liked when what's his name? Johnny Storm showed up. I thought that was when the humor was kind of dialed in. You know, I think Chris Evans is Captain America. I was expecting him to be Captain America. I thought I was like, wow, they're bringing him back.
Yeah.
And then it was such a turn right there, but it was still cool. You know, to see him as Johnny Storm. Is that his name? Johnny?
Yeah.
Johnny Storm?
I think so.
Johnny something.
I'm pretty sure it's Johnny Storm.
The Human Torch.
Yeah.
Johnny Storm seems like a weird name. I don't think his last name would be Storm if he turns into fire or something.
Yeah, Johnny Storm.
Johnny Storm? Okay.
Johnny Storm. Yeah.
My bad. I shouldn't doubt
you had it right,
my
dude.
Marvel knowledge.
Come on, bro.
That was cool. And it's in the Mad Max, type universe or whatever. Like even the shots of them like going back to the base.
Yeah.
I was like, seems like that one Furiosa shot, when they come in on their bikes.
Yes. Yeah.
Yeah. Totally. What I'm talking about. And gosh, what else? They had like the motorcycle. You know how Chris Hemsworth, his character, has like 4 motorcycles tied together as like a chariot, and that they had that. One of those too. It's one of the cars, and I was like, yeah, that's cool. But was that my favorite part? I don't know.
I honestly,
it all seems like the same sort of excitement out of me. I don't know.
I might agree with you because that's before we get introduced to Cassandra Nova, and that's where it kind of slows down for me.
Yeah.
Because then you're introduced to all of like the cameos, Wesley Snipes, Garner, Tatum, and that was really, that didn't work for me. And then when X-23, when that like emotional moment with Logan, that really didn't work for me. I was like, this just has no place in this.
Me neither.
So
I was like, why bring her back if that's going to be her role?
But dude, she
didn't even do a good. I mean, they didn't give her anything to work with. She just puts on the sunglasses and like kills a few people, and it's like,
that was a little rough.
Yeah.
I kind of liked the fighting all the other Deadpools Just because that seemed like Old Boy, bro.
Exactly.
Did you think Old Boy?
That's what I. No,
that's Old Boy.
Obviously a reference to Old Boy.
Yeah,
there. Yeah.
So I thought that was cool.
That's probably my favorite part. Too.
That's probably my favorite part. I really didn't like the Deus Ex Machina thing where, what's his face, Peter just comes and saves the day.
Yeah,
it was like the final straw for me. I was like, you just did this really cool tracking shot, homage to a great movie. Great choreography of just tearing these Deadpools apart.
Yeah.
And then Peter just comes in and you're like, oh yeah, Deadpools love Peter.
Yeah.
That stopped everything.
You could have just had them delay their regeneration.
Yeah.
And gotten away. And
yeah.
Instead of Peter showing up, and it's got no meaning whatsoever.
Yeah.
It's
because that was
they obey Peter. Oh, cool.
That's the fourth or fifth time in the movie that they're presented with an unbeatable challenge. Yeah. And it's dealt with in literally a minute and a half,
Yeah.
So I was like, oh my gosh, that sucks. But all of that before was great.
I liked the Greatest Showman reference. Yeah, that's cool. Just when it showed up on the radio.
Yeah,
that was awesome.
And it's a half second. That's a blink and you miss it reference. And that's what this movie's good at. It's just kind of deep cuts that everybody would get, but it's placed in a way that is quick enough. I don't know. So
you don't need to spend too much time on it.
Yeah.
It's enough to make you chuckle or smirk.
Right.
Least favorite part?
I really didn't like the ending where they're no, you don't understand. If you go down there, you'll be atomized. It's the end.
Yeah.
And then there's this Wolverine sacrificial thing. Seriously.
I was let Wolverine do it. He wants to die. Whatever. Yeah. That's a good. I was
Hugh Jackman's been playing the character for 20 years.
Yeah.
That's a fitting end.
Yeah.
Right. But then they just come up the stairs. They're yeah, actually, we didn't die.
Yeah.
I was that's so stupid.
I thought it was dumb too.
Yeah.
Yeah. And you could have had some real emotion there if Wolverine actually died. But, yeah, I'd say that was. I liked the Iris song that played.
Yeah, dude. Iris. It's one of my favorite songs ever, dude.
I know. Yeah. So that was a good choice. Too.
Yeah.
And also the Avril Lavigne song too.
Actually, great soundtrack, man.
Yeah.
The time I chuckled, the first chuckle this movie got out of me was the opening credits to Bye Bye Bye.
Yeah.
And Deadpool's choreography.
I liked
dancing to it.
It was good.
That was killing me. I love that.
Yeah.
So that's great soundtrack.
Maybe that's one of my favorite parts as well. Yeah. Avril Lavigne song didn't really fit at all in this situation. It's you can put any song there, I guess.
Yeah.
But I liked it. I'm an Avril head.
Yeah. I loved the Marvel Jesus joke and all the different iterations of it.
Mm-hmm.
There was one he made. It was funny. He said, "Call me MJ if you're nasty." I think that's a reference to the Paramore singer, maybe, or maybe she stole that from somebody else. Let me double check that.
I don't know. I liked the montage quite a bit, just seeing all the different Wolverines. Short one,
yeah,
that was cool.
Yeah, comic accurate Wolverine.
Yeah, and he's got no he's not muscular at all or whatever. He's hopping off the chair. That was funny.
I want to correct myself. That's a Janet Jackson reference.
Oh, okay.
It's Janet Miss Jackson if you're nasty.
Okay.
Haley Williams, the singer for Paramore.
Mm-hmm.
I've seen concert clips of her saying, "I'm Miss Williams if you're nasty." Cringes me out, but I thought that's what they were referencing, and I was like, "That's a really niche reference," and I actually didn't get it, so I'm a moron. So
there was even some, I didn't get.
Yeah.
Either. Okay. I don't want to do the rest of the categories for this. We spent enough time on it.
Okay.
What would you most want to be there for?
The Wolverine Deadpool fight.
Okay. Who could Ryan Gosling play?
Any Deadpool variant probably was in there. I don't know.
Dude, he could have been.
McConaughey was in there. Blake Lively was in there.
Wait, who was the first person you said?
McConaughey.
Oh, yeah. Yes. Yeah.
He also put his kids in there, too.
Oh, did he?
Yeah, it was Kid Pool.
Okay, that makes sense.
I'm so sick of.
Yeah. Nepotism, bro.
Yeah, dude.
We are going to talk about
nepotism.
nepotism.
Shot.
Yep.
For real.
Yep. My dad didn't put me in a movie, even though he's a big shot Hollywood producer.
Mm-hmm.
Gosh, I keep losing my trains of thought, bro. Gosling could have been Nice Pool.
He could have. He'd been better.
Yeah,
as Nice Pool
would have made more.
That
sense.
would have been perfect, actually, because that's probably actually my least favorite part.
Yeah.
They got that dog off of TikTok as
really?
just some ugly dog. And then they decided to like put him in the movie and make it a whole big thing that he's Dogpool or whatever.
Yeah.
And yeah, Ryan Gosling, like seeing his face, I don't know. Like I'm just sick of him. You know?
Oh yeah, totally.
He hasn't changed at all in 4 years. You know? And I think he just needs to move on to something different. Like this is the last Deadpool movie. Take some sort of career turn. You know, I don't know.
Yeah, my sister yesterday was like, I really think Ryan Reynolds is a great actor. Like he has range. And I was like,
he has no range.
He
He's the same person. Range, girl. He's the same person in every movie. Who said that?
My sister.
Oh,
Kylie.
Sorry.
No, it's okay. I said the same thing,
but I disagree. He
you watch
do a supporting role.
Yeah,
because he could be like a comic relief character in a supporting role.
Yeah,
it could work.
Yeah, that could work.
You know, but now he needs to be the star of every movie he's in.
It's hard because his face is everywhere. You know, like for example, Leo has and Tobey Maguire.
Mm-hmm.
Don't know why I thought him, but like they have this perfect appeal of they show up, they hit a home run, and then they fade into obscurity. You don't know what they're doing. You know?
Yeah.
I think that's like great movie star behavior.
He's so
Ryan Reynolds, dude. I watch a YouTube video and I'm getting Mint Mobile ads with his face and his voice on it, and I'm like, leave me alone.
Mint Mobile is everywhere. It's like on a few of the podcasts I listen to.
Yeah,
the ads. You know,
and he's got that aviation gin. He's got some soccer team, Wrexham United or something.
Yeah,
and like it's great. He's investing, whatever. That's cool. But then he becomes like this ubiquitous kind of face that you just see all around, and it's terrible. Yeah, and it pretends.
It pretends.
But yeah, done with Deadpool.
Yeah.
So.
Okay.
Watch it though. It's great. It's a great movie.
Watch it. Yeah. I had a great time. I had fun. Best birthday ever. Okay, let's get in a trap.
Okay, this is where
now this is going to be a really good movie.
Yes, it's actually worse than Deadpool and the Wolverine.
I would say no. I would disagree with that. But
let's hear your spiel.
Okay, so I saw this opening night on a Thursday by myself. Thanksgiving Point, Lehigh. 8:45 showing.
Okay.
Middle. No. Back left again. I'm digging back left.
You're back left guy?
I'm starting to be a back left guy.
Cool.
Yeah. Next to the aisle, you know, like have my feet out and, you know.
Yeah.
There wasn't anybody in front of me, so I could put my feet on the chair or whatever.
You don't have loungers there?
No. It's at a Cinemark where we saw Challengers.
Sure.
That same theater.
Okay.
Which
love
was
that theater. Great theater.
Great theater.
Yeah.
So first of all, we've heard about this movie ever since they announced it at CinemaCon a while ago.
Yes.
That was like back in July or something.
Yeah, earlier this year.
Yeah. No. Earlier this year. No.
I don't know when.
I was thinking I was in December for some reason. All of a sudden.
It's been a long year, man. Especially for movies. It's been a long year for us.
Yeah. So a while ago at CinemaCon. But I think the idea is super cool. So let me read the synopsis for you guys. For you guys who don't know. Ooh, Carlisle just gave it 3.5.
I saw
just
that.
Barely.
She loved it, warts and all.
Warts?
That's what she said, warts and all.
Warts and all. What is she talking about? There's no warts.
That's just an idiom. That's just a thing you say.
So it's directed by M. Night Shyamalan. 30,000 fans. 300 cops. 1 serial killer. No escape. Father and teen daughter attend a pop concert where they realize they're at the center of a dark and sinister event. So it's got a 3.0 on Letterboxd. Originally, I gave it a 4.5. Here's the thing. I wanted, it wasn't a lie, all right, but it was kind of, I really want my friends to see this.
You were baiting
whether or not they like it or not, I want them to watch this.
Yeah.
And I thought it would also be nice to get Kaysen excited about his guy, M. Night.
Yeah.
You know?
That is good.
And it worked. I got everybody in the theater to watch it, and we had a fun time. Ended up being a good night, right?
Yeah. No, it was a fine night. Yeah. Hey, also news.
What?
Jason and Carla got engaged.
Yep, they did. While I was watching this movie.
That's crazy.
They got engaged.
I'm going to cut that to the beginning of the pod. So they feel like we said it first, which we did.
We did.
But yeah, you were watching Trap.
You guys.
Congrats.
Second best news I had that night. I got that night.
What was the first one? Shyamalan's back?
Shyamalan's back, yeah. Okay. Reviews. It's got a 53% on Rotten Tomatoes. What? 65% audience score. 6.2 on IMDb. It is not almost 2 whole points less than Deadpool and Wolverine. That's crazy.
Yeah. It's certainly a lower caliber movie than Deadpool and Wolverine.
I think it's a higher caliber. It's higher quality with a better plot.
Yeah, better.
And better execution.
I don't want to say that. We'll get into it.
Okay.
Horrible execution. Both of them are bad.
Good execution, like bad plot holes, if that bothers you, which a lot of people it does. Me, it does.
Yeah, bad
Most
plot
of the time,
bothers
it didn't bother me that much.
Yeah.
I think it left a lot on the table for how good the plot is.
Yeah, it's crazy.
But it was mostly what I was expecting, I guess.
Here's the problem. Actually, finish your scores.
53 on Metacritic, and Deadpool Wolverine had 56, I believe.
So I think that's in line with my thinking.
Okay,
Hour 45, just a bit better. Yeah,
just, not as long as Deadpool. You don't need to know 1,000 things. I couldn't get the vibe of my theater when I was walking out. Like, I didn't know if people liked it or they didn't like it.
Yeah,
I heard one girl go, "That was pretty weird," and I was like, "Is that a good thing? Is that a bad thing?"
Yeah.
And that was it.
Terrible movie criticism.
I should have done like a survey or poll.
Yeah,
to people walking out of the theater. But yeah, so I had a good time.
Yeah,
saved my night on a Thursday. And I was expecting to be disappointed. I've not dove into the M. Night collection of movies. I've seen Signs. We watched The Sixth Sense in film school. When we went to film school. Our film class in high school.
Oh, dude. It's film school from here on out.
Film school. We saw that in film school, right?
Yes, right.
Uminsky.
Yeah. Dr. Uminsky.
The director of the of the school. Who else was in? Was like Damien was in that too.
Damien did a guest lecture. Scorsese dropped by one time.
Scorsese, yeah.
I remember that.
What was I even talking about?
You were talking about.
Oh yeah, so we watched
movies you've seen.
The Sixth Sense. Good time, quality movie, good twist.
Oh, I thought you were saying Good Time is M. Night. I was like, that could not be further from the truth.
I haven't seen like Unbreakable. You've seen The Village. Is The Village good?
Village is not good. Kaysen likes it.
Okay,
it's pretty bad. It's Deacon's cinematography. It's got Joaquin. It's got BDH, Bryce Dallas Howard.
Mm-hmm. BDH.
Yeah. Bryce
Isn't
Dallas
that Star Wars?
No,
BD-8.
That's BD-8, bro.
Yeah.
Bryce Dallas Howard does have a strong connection to Star Wars, though.
That's
but there are a ton of great actors in The Village. Again, great, really cool idea.
Yeah.
Just really bad execution. Have you seen The Visitor? Or no. The Visit?
Yeah.
Hate that one.
Yeah.
And Old sucks. But
Old was fun. But it's not good.
Dude, it showed us what actuaries are really like in real life.
Yeah, I mean, we know already.
Yeah.
So yeah, Austin has some issues with the execution. There's a lot of plot holes, okay, that you can get hung up on, or you can just have a good time with it.
You just grow a pair,
enjoy
it.
M. Night's not perfect. Does he write his own movies?
He's got to, dude.
He's got
Let
to.
me see.
Because it's like classic M. Night story. You know, the appeal of his movies is like the story, and that there's some sort of twist, and he has these interesting ideas. You know, like a kid who sees dead people, like a guy with split personalities. They're pretty simple, and I don't think the payoff is always super great as people expect, but he does have like a cult following, you know.
Yes.
Avatar: The Last Airbender. I saw that a while ago.
It seems like he is the sole writer on all of his movies.
Really?
Except for Last Airbender, of course.
Okay. Yeah.
But even that, he's the sole credit. So I don't know.
Really? Yeah, I wanted to watch a few more of his. I just like couldn't get into it to watch him. Here's
the thing about him. He is like the perfect bad night out at the movies guy. And in that, like, I really think the movie was quite bad. I still had a fun time, like, poking holes in it.
Yeah.
And just being there and, like, enjoying the bad time or the good time I was having with a bad movie.
Okay.
And I think every Shyamalan experience for me is like that. It's like, oh, that's laughably bad. My thing with Shyamalan isn't so much that, like, the plot is bad, specifically in this movie.
Mm-hmm.
More so that it's like, I don't think Shyamalan has ever talked to another human being. You know what I mean?
Okay.
Like, the behavior of all of his characters is so irrational and so far removed from reality. You're like, what is this guy going off of?
Yeah.
And that's really hard when you want to take a movie seriously, because you're like, I can't relate to that at all, because that's not happening in the real world. And we can get into details if we want, but I just feel that way all the time with Shyamalan movies.
So I get what you're saying. And there's some obvious examples of that in this movie. Like, once, we're going to spoil it, right?
Oh, yeah. Spoiler warning for Deadpool as well. We didn't give a...
Oh, yeah. Spoiler warning for Deadpool.
Hugh Jackman's in that movie.
We might get back into that. Obviously, some parallels to Deadpool and Wolverine, right? With Trap. Just kidding. But, gosh, what was I going to say? I was going to spoil something. Oh, yeah. So Josh Hartnett, you know, escapes somehow, right? Somewhat, right?
Yes. Well, for those who don't know, did we explain the plot at all or read the synopsis?
Yeah,
you did. Okay, sorry. Go ahead. Sorry. Go ahead.
You weren't listening.
I wasn't listening to
you. So he escapes the arena somewhat, right? But he's still kind of not in the clear. Some of the things he pulls off a little bit far-fetched, right? And there's no, like, you don't see him do these things. So they're just like thrown in there. Like, you don't see him escape in the tunnel to the neighbor's backyard.
Yeah.
And then you don't see him take down the SWAT officer with, like, what do you have? A dustbin? A dustbin?
Whatever.
You know? And you don't see him, like, exit the car, you know, and get away or change. And it's like, he just wouldn't get away with these things in the first place. And the police are so incompetent where they should have caught him like 100 times throughout the movie, and they just don't. And that's frustrating. In the first watch, I was rooting for him. So I kind of just like had fun making fun of how incompetent the police were, you know? But on the second watch, I was like, yeah, they should have got him right here.
Yeah.
Or they should have got him right there, you know? So I get in the theater, right? And we sit down. And then right when it starts, I was like, you know what? I don't know if they'll like this.
Yeah.
You know what? I think they might not. After like they get there, I was like, yeah, no, like, I hope they're not mad at me for like bringing everybody out here and hyping this up too much, you know, which I definitely did.
Well, I mean, I think it goes a long way when you suggest a movie and somebody else books the tickets.
Yeah.
That's what I've noticed.
Okay.
If I'm suggesting a movie or getting hyped about a movie and I book the tickets, I feel a lot of responsibility for everybody.
I didn't suggest the movie.
But yeah, just your review, and then Kaysen being an M. Night fan, he was like, oh, now I want to see it.
Yeah.
And then he got everybody. So that, I feel like that is like a good balance of responsibility, so everybody can enjoy it without feeling like somebody dragged
them. And I knew
there.
that would happen.
Yeah.
And Banta told me, like, the only reason he wanted to see this at all was because of my review.
Yeah.
Which now I understand I have a certain amount of power to get people to watch. movies, so I need to put more effort into my reviews. I've been slacking a little bit. But they're gonna what? Is that not true? Ben just told me that like 3 or 4 times.
Yeah,
that he only watched a movie because of one of my reviews.
No, I can't speak.
You can't speak to that. You don't.
No, I've watched
obviously movies based off your reviews.
No, and likewise. Okay. I just the delivery was funny.
The smugness.
No, yeah.
Oh,
that's like your brand, though, dude.
Yeah.
No, I've watched 100 movies based off of your recommendation, so I'm there with you.
Thank you.
Just don't be such an ass about it.
And I'm right. I'm always right.
You're always right.
This movie is it's a 4. I lowered it down to a 4.
Yeah,
so everybody knows. It might be a 3.5. Like realistically, like it should be a 3.5. But I'm gonna give it a 4 because I enjoyed it a bit more than the next person.
Yeah.
So,
like I said, it's still like a fun movie, and this is a perfect friends night movie, especially like at a house.
Yeah,
where you can all be like, "Oh my gosh, that's so stupid." This is a movie you can kind of talk over or talk through. I feel like, especially because, and this was one of my concerns going in. Such a cool idea.
Yes,
and again, we go back to M. Night. He has these great ideas. The trailer shows the twist.
Trailer shows everything.
Shows absolutely everything. So the whole movie, I'm waiting because I'm like, there's no way they show the whole twist in the trailer.
Yeah.
So there's got to be some deeper layer here that never comes. There's an attempt at making a deeper layer with like his childhood trauma thing with his mom, but that's just not sufficient. That's not interesting enough. And yeah, everything is so. There's just no payoff for me because everything is so. You already know everything going in if you've watched the trailer. Grace hadn't, which surprised me, and so she was amused by some of the things.
Mm-hmm.
And then once you're in there, even if you didn't expect something, it's so overly telegraphed and over-explained, and things like that. Where it gets to a point where you're just like, man, I can't do this.
Yeah,
I can't get behind this.
So we're beating a dead horse, like, complaining about trailers giving away too much. How else do you market a movie like this? How do you get people in the theater without telling them the twist?
I think you show a daughter or a dad and a daughter at a concert like they are.
Yeah.
And then he notices there's police. Mm-hmm. Like literally just cut the trailer off 20 seconds before it actually ends. Because like setting up a concert venue with police and then he finds out that they're there to catch a murderer.
Yeah.
You either go into that thinking, oh, he must be the murderer, or you think like this movie's going to be about him having to protect his daughter at this concert because there's a murderer there.
Yeah.
Like just cut the trailer 20 seconds earlier.
Even like go a bit further, make a few scenes that don't make it into the final movie or something.
Yeah.
Where he's like protecting his daughter from something or
I
don't know.
Yeah.
And like you said, some of the stuff I'm like, okay, you don't need to explain this. We need a bit more like visual storytelling and not, treating us like we're idiots in the crowd, And I think I can't say that that's like an M. Night thing, because I haven't seen enough
I think it is
of his movies, but but yeah, here's what I liked about it, right? I liked the feel of it. I thought it was cool to be at a concert. Never been to a concert like that. So it was a cool social event for me. Never been to a Taylor Swift's Eras tour thing. At first, I was like, this is kind of cool. Like, I see the appeal.
Yeah.
I was like, how did Austin enjoy, like, the Taylor Swift Eras tour concert movie?
Yeah, that's totally different, dude.
You know what it kind of feels like during her first song? I was like, this kind of feels a little bit cool just to be sitting here watching this performance.
Dude, you should watch the Eras tour.
Whatever. I will, yeah. But I liked the feel of it. I thought it was claustrophobic.
Mm-hmm.
It was about what it should have been about, which was just him against 300 cops trying to escape, trying to outsmart them. The ways that he does it, you can poke some holes in that. And I think this shouldn't have been PG-13. I think it should have been R, and I think it should have been directed by somebody else. It should have been like, I don't know, him taking people down, hiding people in closets, disguises, but you've also got his daughter that's there. And so it's like he needs to keep his appearance as like a loving father,
And that should work great.
Yeah.
That's one thing I really enjoyed was like his back and forth between evil killer and just like uncomfortably supportive, nice dad, And I think that's where the movie really works for me. Like some of M. Night's close-ups with him, the kind of framing of a lot of the shots, like one that I really liked was it's kind of like a wider shot and he's off to the right, the viewer's right of the frame, and you only see half of his face and he's like smiling,
Yeah.
That kind of works for me because it's like, while that's a bit on the nose and a bit maybe overdone. I don't know if it's overdone, but there's like an intentionality behind it that really works for me, you know? So there were a lot of things like that where I liked.
Yeah.
And that all happened in the concert venue. Once we leave the concert venue, I have a bit harder time with the character.
Me as well.
Yeah.
Yeah. Because then it's like, okay, he's lost his his performance that he's doing.
Yeah.
Like he doesn't have to save face anymore. You can just be a killer.
Right.
And then he's like not as much of a killer as he's a serial killer, Yeah. And you expect him to be a bit more out there and and they gave him like this origin where his mother abused him or tried her best. I don't know. Obviously he's a serial killer. He's going to be difficult. But maybe his mother didn't help, I guess. But
I don't know how all that works. Right?
Well, I've heard like if your kid's like killing a rodent and dissecting it, like what's your reaction? I'd send him to military school or something. Right?
I think that's like the thing you don't do.
Don't
they like go crazier?
Make it their problem. You're gonna do a drill sergeant.
It's true.
It'd be like people. The first half of Full Metal Jacket.
Yeah.
No, but what was I gonna say? Yeah, so I like what you said, how you enjoyed the father-daughter dynamic. It's a cool twist because there's some things that were obvious that he should have done. He would have had so much more of or less of a leash on what he could do if his daughter wasn't there, right? Like, he obviously should have gone underneath the stadium at that one point, but he couldn't. Because how do you explain that to your daughter who's right next to you?
That's just crazy.
And he tried.
I think that's a really interesting parallel to how this movie's made.
Yeah.
Like that Josh Hartnett's character is on a leash because of his daughter and how he has to work with her.
Yeah.
M. Night Shyamalan casting his daughter as the pop star who also turns out to be like half detective, solving the case, whatever.
Yeah.
I think that puts him in an interesting spot where like she can't get killed in the bathroom by Josh Hartnett's character.
Yeah.
Because it's his daughter. He doesn't want to show his daughter dying on screen or something like that. I don't know what his lines are. Yeah. But I think that's an interesting parallel between the two fathers of this film and protecting their daughters,
Yeah. I guess that, and it, so, he probably, he knows about that. He's just writing, and I don't know. Is M. Night the star of the movie?
Well, dude, honestly, I don't like his cameos. I was saying this after the movie.
You said you liked it.
I don't like his cameos usually. This movie, it works for me.
Okay. I
was like, he's the best actor here. Seriously.
You thought so?
Well, no, Josh Hartnett's great, but
yeah, Josh Hartnett is the best.
Yeah.
No, but I just want to say I liked that balance of. I felt really invested. I wanted him to, make it out for some reason and still be able to be a father because you like him for some reason. Like you said this. I don't want to take credit,
sure,
but the first group of people like you see in the film, you're more likely to root for. And he's obviously an anti-hero. It feels wrong to be rooting for a serial killer, and I guess that's a dangerous slope. And that's probably not a good thing at all. So he could never get away with it. He couldn't make a movie like that, I guess.
But there was also something to be said. We've talked about this on this podcast before, I think. But seeing a really competent character that's competent at their craft, and I heard this on another podcast. I can't cite it right now. I don't remember the name. But they talk about Llewellyn in No Country for Old Men.
Yeah.
Like how he's just good at everything. And Shakur behind him is also good at everything.
Yeah.
Like they're both just very competent, like top of their craft individuals,
Yes.
And so seeing Josh Hartnett in a character like that, You want him to succeed because you like seeing him, outsmart people and be the best at what he's doing.
Yes.
Even if it is killing people, which is kind of weird, but you just get behind that for some reason in storytelling.
And he's kind of a good dad.
Yeah, it seems like,
he bought his daughter tickets,
Yeah.
right? He made her the dreamer girl.
and he's genuinely like defending his daughter to the other mom. Like, you can tell that's coming from a real place of love,
Yeah.
So I don't know. He's a
I thought
good
that
dad.
subplot was kind of cool.
Yeah.
Gave Riley some depth.
Yeah, definitely.
And his interaction with the other mom.
Yeah.
You see, like, he's a serial killer, and he's like, trying hard to keep that within him, but when it's like a frustrating situation, him keeping cool right there, like it was cool to see that.
Yeah. And it actually really paid off for me. I was really excited to see Riley like be chosen, even though it's through him lying and getting her up there.
Yeah.
She gets to live out her dream with this pop star, with Lady Raven. And I was like, hell yeah, that's pretty sick.
Yeah.
Stick it to those girls,
Mm-hmm.
Which I did not anticipate. I did not anticipate being that emotionally invested in that. But it works because he's that good guy on the one side.
Part of me wanting Josh Hartnett to get away with it was because I didn't want this to ruin Riley's night.
Dude.
I was like,
It's a big night for her, man.
probably the best night of her life up
Yeah.
to that point. Definitely is, right? I think she says that. And then she's picked as the dreamer girl. And in that moment, I was like, oh my gosh, if he gets caught, it's just going to like scar her for life.
Yeah.
That's the only thing she's going to associate with this concert in the best night of her life. It's also the worst night of her life, So yeah, should we get into the issues with like the plot holes? So
Yeah, I mean, do you want me to start or do you want to start?
you have something?
Well, there's just
Let's go chronologically. First of all,
okay.
I think it's a flawed idea that there's one man that they need to catch. Only 300 cops. I feel like there should be a bit more.
Yeah.
I don't know. Within 30,000 fans, and the descriptions of him are murky, right? Like,
Super vague.
it's like he could be an 80-year-old, he could be a middle-aged man, he could be, an Indian person, or I don't know. But you only see them like investigating guys who are like in their late 30s.
Yeah.
Who look like him. The only real thing was like he has that tattoo of the sheep or whatever
Yeah.
in a triangle on his wrist.
And even that, they're like, he might have a tattoo of an animal or something, like a rabbit or something on his arm. They don't
Oh,
even know
really?
that for sure,
Yeah, and how do you know? I don't know.
Yeah, you can't get his face on camera.
Can't get his face, but
or
you
his
have, like, a
build or his
close-up.
race, but you can see that tiny tattoo on his wrist. Dumb.
Yeah. And he's obviously strong.
Yeah.
Like, because you see the footage of him pulling that guy in his
Yeah.
car, with one hand.
Uh,
But
but-
like, that's the only evidence that we know that they have.
Yeah.
How are they going to catch him by interviewing 3,000? It ends up being like 3,000 men that are there.
Yeah.
How is it like a for sure thing that she says, like the profiler old lady is like, it's an inevitability that we're going to be talking to him in like the next 20 minutes.
Yeah. And that's also my issue. She's like, we are dealing with somebody who knows how to get out of this pretty much. Right.
Yeah.
But she thinks an interview with some like rando cop is going to stop this super genius
Mhm.
evasion expert,
Yeah.
That's not working for me. The legal repercussions of effectively imprisoning like 30,000 people
Yeah.
to catch one guy.
Also, yeah.
That lady's losing her job
Yeah.
after that. That was one big issue. I was like, I don't know. That didn't work for me at all.
Yeah.
Um,
And people are going to have issues. You're not going to sit down 3,000
Yeah.
men and ask, like, they're asking them all questions. They're sitting them all down in tents,
Yeah.
as they're leaving. Like, it's going to take hours,
Yeah.
Like, you just can't, the logistics of that just wouldn't work. And this is obviously based on a real life event, loosely based, like the idea,
totally different. Yeah.
I think it was the Washington Redskins who
Yeah, sounds right.
invited like 30 different fugitives. I don't know how they got their addresses. Or
I think
whatever,
they
but-
sent it to their last known address or something
Okay,
like that.
yeah. And they told them they got free tickets to the game. And like a bunch of them showed up and they caught every single person that showed up.
Yeah.
You know?
They had them sign in to get their free ticket. Once they signed their name up, they just
Yeah.
arrested them.
And it was like they let them all into a room, and it was super easy.
Yeah,
and
which makes way more sense.
Yeah, in this, this just shouldn't have happened in the first place, because we see at the end, his wife is the one who's been suspicious of him all along.
Gosh, yeah.
And what she does is she follows him to one of his safe houses. She sees a table and a chair, and that's like the only thing in the house.
Mm.
And she thinks, okay, he could be the butcher because I've smelled cleaning supplies on his clothing, and it's weird that there's just a table and a chair here.
Yeah.
So she leaves a receipt that he had. She got it off him somehow, for 2 concert tickets to that show for Lady Raven. And then she makes an anonymous call to the police that he might be at the concert. This might be one of his safe houses. So the police are just going off of all of that.
Yeah.
One anonymous call with no evidence that that's one of his houses.
Also, another thing, they said this is like a special event concert, right? It's like an afternoon concert the day after she performed the night, like the main concert, right?
You sure?
I thought
that seems weird because he must have.
Because how would he get tickets to the special concert? That was my issue.
Yeah.
But if that's not the case, that opens up another thing. What concert's going on at 2 p.m. when it's light outside? Another big issue of mine. They're constantly like walking around the stadium. There are people like in the halls. Yeah. There's intermissions during this concert where they just go get food. That doesn't happen in real life. That's why I'm like, M. Night has never been outside of his house, you know?
Don't people wear like adult diapers to like Taylor Swift concerts so they don't miss? Grace did?
Yeah.
Yeah, that sounds about right.
Yeah.
So people will literally poop their pants and pee themselves so they don't miss a single song, right?
That might not be
and Riley's like
concept to most of our listeners, honestly.
And Riley's like missing like 2-3 Lady Raven songs to go look for her dad. You know?
No. Yeah. It's just not working out that way.
It's just
and then just from a filmmaking point of view, I really hated us just sitting through 3 minutes of every song. Like the songs were way too long. We get the gist of it. And I get that M. Night's trying to promote his daughter's music career.
Yeah.
But it totally doesn't serve the plot. It gets really annoying. Also, this is a really nitpicky, but every time they film the Jumbotron, there's like a frame rate difference, I think. That must have been what was going on. Where the camera that's broadcasting to the Jumbotron is at a different frame rate from the cinematic camera. And so it's like super choppy.
Yeah.
Yeah. Did you notice that? Did that bug you at all?
Well, I just figured that's how it is in real life.
Well, no, but in real life, that video on the Jumbotron is smooth.
Oh, really?
Yeah. It's not
I
like
figured
choppy
it would
like
just
that.
be a little bit choppy since it's so big on the screen.
I think that was just one camera shooting the screen from another camera, and it made it choppy. I think in real life, it is not like that. It makes sense
in my head.
In real life, it is not that way, though.
It's not?
No.
I've never been to a concert like that.
So I think from a filmmaking standpoint, like just project that digitally.
Yeah.
In post or something. So it's less distracting. Maybe that didn't bother anybody at all. Obviously, it didn't bother you, but that was bugging me.
Yeah, that stuff goes right over my head.
Dude, once you start reading Making Movies by Sidney Lumet, understanding like lenses and stuff, dude.
Yeah. How'd you hear about that book?
The Big Picture.
Oh, yeah.
Whatever. No, dude, I watched a Lumet documentary like
I recommend
2 months ago. 2 months ago.
I know.
Have you watched that? Yeah.
No, I heard it was bad by you.
It's not that bad. Well, it's just a bad interview.
Book is great,
but it's great.
I read it.
Watch the effing documentary, dude.
Don't swear at me.
I didn't.
He swore,
bitch. Let me mark that. I don't want Sister All Red to get mad at me tomorrow night.
Yeah, that's true. Okay, so
there are too many nitpicks for me to go through one by one. Honestly, one thing that I will say, Banta made a great criticism.
Criticism.
Is that?
Yeah,
how do I say that?
That's true. Yeah.
Like he made a great point about the movie. That it was really annoying that everything just went his way. Like there was never a situation where he failed. Right?
Well, I think he kind of accepts failure to a degree when he holds Lady Raven hostage. You know?
Yeah.
Like that was a last resort feel like I was always on my toes though, that like he wasn't going to get away with it. You know,
I just felt like he had so much plot armor, and it leaned too hard into that plot armor, and not so much into like what we were saying before of him being a competent individual.
Yeah,
where it was like, of course he's going to get away because the cops are way too stupid to get him, and he's just the smartest person ever. That's a big problem too, when writers write the smartest person ever, because that character is only as smart as the writers are. And M. Night, obviously, I don't know.
You're saying he's stupid.
I'm not saying he's stupid, but he thinks you can just like slip out of a limousine into a crowd and change out of your SWAT uniform and into a hoodie.
Yeah.
And the cops aren't going to see you, and then they're going to shoot the empty car where there's a crowd standing right behind it. M. Night Shyamalan thinks that's reality.
Yeah.
So if he's writing a character who's getting away in that situation, of course it's going to be unrealistic. But
the cops going, "We assume you're armed."
Yeah.
Do they do that?
Shooting the tires out, shooting this guy's head.
Yeah.
And there's a bunch of people behind him. And then later in the movie, they don't use lethal force. Their rifles are away. They have to double taser him. And then main British lady has to come triple taser him.
Oh, goodness. She was...
No lethal force in the house when there's no other targets because the mom is safely in the kitchen. Okay?
Yeah.
Go out in the driveway. Let's point a rifle at your head. Execution style. You haven't done anything.
Yeah.
And then we'll actually go, never mind, guns off.
What if he's innocent?
Bend down.
You haven't even questioned this guy.
Bend down and get the spokes. Because you're OCD.
Yeah.
And you're an OCD individual, and those people like dark cars.
Yeah.
We're all OCD a little bit. Right? So
I think that resonated. I think I have it.
Yeah. Don't you?
Yeah. I've heard that I might have it. Yeah.
What makes you think that?
Like, this is real. Whenever I sit down at the gym, like on a seat, my phone needs to be facing like perfectly outwards or like towards something. When I set it down, I always like point it towards something.
Okay.
That's just crazy. It's like crazy that I do that.
Dude, you are so OCD.
Or like when I sit down on the couch, I need my phone to be pointed like at the TV.
Yeah.
Or something.
Okay.
It's like in Silver Linings Playbook, how De Niro always points the remote
straight
like towards the TV.
Okay, yeah.
Yeah.
Official diagnosis.
I always need to wear an Eagles jersey on game day.
Yeah.
Too.
Yeah.
Like I have to.
Yeah, that makes sense. Dude, that makes sense.
So yeah, I guess we all have it.
We all do.
Yeah.
So we could
good
all be
representation for me to see OCD person in this,
and also a serial killer. Yeah. For those of you who don't know, we genuinely thought Jaren was a serial killer, or at least like some kind of.
Don't say genuinely. Don't say genuinely. We say as a joke, or
the year's 2019. We are all 100% convinced that Jaren has killed a person or has desires to.
That's a joke.
As a joke. But for real.
I've killed a person.
Have you?
No. I wouldn't say it here. I wouldn't say it on this podcast.
You're like Josh Hartnett in Trap, bro.
It's
You're
totally
fooling me. You have two different personalities.
Here's the thing. And let me give context, right? I'm a Fincher head. Okay.
You are not.
He's my favorite director.
Name 5 of his movies right now.
7, Zodiac, Gone Girl, The Killer, and The Curious Case of Benjamin Button, Mank, Alien 3, Panic Room. That's all of them. I might have missed one.
Fight Club, bro?
I said Fight Club.
You didn't. Roll the tape.
Oh, it's because we don't talk about it. Idiot.
Damn, that's sick.
That's right. Oh, jeez. What was I even going to say? Oh, yeah. And he obviously, like, has 3 or 4 movies about serial killers. You know? 7, Zodiac, whatever. And I just think those movies are cool, right? Like, I don't really care that it's giving a platform to these horrible people or whatever. 7, like, he's not even a real guy. John Doe, right? And so I think I just went into the Zodiac case or whatever because I love the Zodiac movie.
Yeah.
And I researched it, listened to documentaries and YouTube videos or whatever. So I'd tell my friends that I thought cared really cool facts about the Zodiac.
Yeah, no, it was cool.
And I was trying to solve it. It's going to be like Robert Graysmith.
Yeah.
try to solve the case. I thought I could pick up on something. And that's pretty much it. I think, what else? Anything in my behavior?
Yeah. Whenever there's a gathering of people, especially people you're like around for the first time,
I zone out.
Yeah. But you also will turn to a friend of yours who you're closer with and say, hey, I'm going to sneak away and stab everybody. And then you'll leave in the dark for like 30 minutes and then you'll come physically assault someone. That's pretty crazy behavior to me.
It's crazy that I can't defend myself.
It's like that hasn't even happened just once.
It's happened once where I've accidentally assaulted somebody.
That's one of my favorite things about you. You're just like,
here's the thing.
Here's a group of people. I gotta sneak away and scare them.
Here's the thing. I get nervous, right? Sure. So I go to what I know, right?
Yeah.
I think what would make this night perfect if I left for like a half hour to an hour.
I think that every time you're around.
And I got to a perfect, and I just got to a perfect spot to scare everybody.
Yeah,
like people were getting too comfortable, out there in the rain.
Yep,
hadn't rained yet, but in the dead of night, you guys are all joking. You need to respect the forest.
Yeah, respect nature.
Respect nature. A bear could show up. It's bear country over there at Pine View.
It is.
And I just thought, people need to get spooked right now. So I need to go into this tree. And if I have to bear crawl across a bunch of grass, if I need to bear crawl 100 yards, I'm going to do it.
Okay.
Because I commit to the bit.
Yeah.
That's the thing. I commit to the bit. Right. But yeah, maybe I don't make good first impressions.
that was a great first impression.
Yeah. But I might take a break from doing that.
No.
A little self-conscious.
Hey, we're talking about it, man.
One of these days, I'm gonna get you guys so.
We all loved it.
I'm gonna get people good.
We all loved it.
Especially I'm gonna like seriously plan out something awesome, and it's gonna be.
You should.
Yeah. All I needed was more planning.
Yeah.
It was a flawed plan, and Banta ruined it. He ruined it. Sorry, he ruined it.
Dude, if we would have turned the light off. Well, the light was off, wasn't it?
Somebody put a flashlight at the tree that I was climbing up.
You need a better tree. That's all.
It was a hard tree. Like I could not get a good footing, and I obviously couldn't be like loud. Like I couldn't jump.
Might have worked better.
I literally had to I had one branch where I could like pull myself up pretty well, but I needed like some other sort of footing or grip. And I couldn't find that. And I looked around and I was like, this is going to I'm going to slip and the bark is going to make a noise. And so it took me a while to get up there. And then I made too much noise and I got caught. So would have been awesome.
Would have been sick.
Yeah. So sorry.
But Trap.
Not a serial killer though. I wouldn't say if I was. Okay. So what else do we want to say about the movie? I had a good time. Listen, there's plot holes. Feels like Shyamalan. I enjoyed Josh Hartnett's performance. I thought the conversations that he had were cool. They were filmed cool. Like,
yes,
where you zero in on somebody's face and they're like acting directly into the camera, and I thought it was cool. It was kind of unnerving a little bit. And I thought Josh Hartnett's whole dance, the whole movie, to keep his image while also escape in he's like 100% set on doing both of those things.
Yes.
He's not going to give one up, and it was cool to see. And it's the exact idea that I wanted it to be, was him trying to escape.
Yeah.
I didn't want some sort of twist where like maybe it wasn't him, or maybe Riley's the serial killer or something like stupid.
Yeah, no.
I
think the twist works. It kind of doesn't. Like if we hadn't known so early or hadn't known going in, maybe that works a lot better.
Yeah. I wish I hadn't known so much going in. But it's such a simple idea, like trap. He's trapped. Like, what's another? I feel like it would work if you'd make another movie about something as simple as that, like,
dude, honestly, this movie works if Lady Raven isn't half detective.
Yeah.
If they put more energy into British profiler FBI lady.
Yeah.
And there's like a real rivalry between serial killer and because that kind of movie, I feel like has got to work where you're on the side of the serial killer and you know it's right that she catches him, but you're still rooting for serial killer. I feel like that is hard to mess up, but like when you pay no attention to her character and anyway,
there's no like surprise characters or characters with any real like depth. You know, it's like, okay, there's going to be some sort of worker that helps him. Yeah. Like there's going to be an FBI person. And she just, you know what I thought was cool was a little bit cool, right? How the cops kind of start closing in on him. Yes. You know, slowly, like they start in the upper deck, you know, investigating people or questioning them. And they slowly like creep down his row. So you feel like the wall is kind of closing in on him the whole time, you know, like that claustrophobia that I mentioned earlier. Mm-hmm. And every time he, like the woman, the profiler lady, like talks, she's getting closer and closer to him. Yeah. Right. Where it's like a shot of her, like on the golf cart from far away, you know, or like when she's talking in that room, you know, like you see him in the background. Some cool, you know, like they shot some cool parts.
Yeah, I'm there for that.
But yeah, it just wasn't enough, I don't think. Okay. And like you said, I didn't like Lady Raven. I didn't know she was M. Night's daughter going in. Yeah, I didn't really like do much research before I saw it.
I knew that going in, and that I feel like that brought the movie down for me. Yeah,
I feel like you could have put a better actress in this, and also just like the fact that it's because of nepotism that she's in there,
I think she does a fine job. She's totally believable.
I don't think she does a good job. I think really when she's in the bathroom, I mean, I'm like, oh my,
she's backed into a corner in that scene, but also like in her performance, I feel like they're not giving her a whole ton.
They're doing like a close up of her face. She's like, anybody knows there's a blue door.
Well, it would be hard for anybody to play world famous pop star who's also trying to catch a killer. Also,
Taylor Swift could do it.
You think so?
Yeah,
she was great in Amsterdam.
In Valentine's Day.
Yeah,
in her concert movie.
She's stellar in that.
She's in Def Leppard, Taylor Swift, Crossroads. You seen that?
I haven't, no. But yeah, all that to say, Shyamalan's daughter does fine, I think. But it did really bother me that it's like every second we spend listening to one of her songs, you're like, oh, this is just daddy giving her.
He's marketing his daughter.
It's just not fun.
Not fair.
Also, just I don't know, like it. This
is her first movie.
It's a bad direction for movies, you know.
I know, and like it's if everything nowadays.
That's like J.J. Abrams, father of Gracie Abrams. Mm-hmm. You know Gracie Abrams, the artist,
the singer. Oh my goodness! Don't ruin Gracie Abrams for me.
She's J.J. Abrams' daughter, but J.J. Abrams doesn't make an effing concert movie for Gracie Abrams. That's the difference, you know.
Yeah,
but how cringe would that be?
She's pretty much Ray. I think Ray is based off Gracie Abrams.
That's true.
His daughter.
Yeah.
Yeah. Well, we're sick of it. Jack Quaid came out and was like, "Yeah, I'm a nepo kid," but
he hates his dad. That's a difference, man.
He hates Dennis Quaid?
Yeah.
Really?
I guess Dennis Quaid is like a huge Trumper.
Okay.
And Jack Quaid is like, yeah, that guy's not my dad.
Liberal.
Like on Father's Day, he posted about the boy's dad. What's that guy's name? Simon
Garfunkel.
Simon and Garfunkel.
No, Simon Cowell.
Is it Simon Cowell? No, it's not. Shaun of the Dead.
Sean. I don't know.
Simon Pegg.
Simon Pegg. Yeah.
He posted a Happy Father's Day to Simon Pegg and not his real dad.
Oh,
he's like cut off from his dad. Apparently, that's what the forums are saying. I don't know.
Is Meg Ryan? She's alive, right?
Meg Ryan.
What's she up to?
Meg Ryan's alive for sure. Let's see what her political.
Well, I don't care. Her political.
You don't care, dude.
Is she out and about?
She's out. She's keeping it tight. Looks like
62
years old.
62.
Divorced from Dennis in 2001. So there's something.
I didn't know if they were still together. I guess they're not.
She's available. Sounds like
she is.
Yeah,
really.
If you want to.
I wasn't a big fan of her in Courage Under Fire, so will not be taking her up on that offer.
Okay,
but thanks, Meg Ryan. So yeah, the second time around I did have issues. I was like, she's just here as a Nepo kid.
Yeah.
And I don't roll with that. I'm against that. So that's why I dropped it a 0.5 star. And I also just didn't like the fact that she kind of saves the movie. It's like she's smarter than these 300 cops, and it's like, what was her plan going to the house with him? You know, she should have seen where he was living, and then just not gone in for dinner or whatever, and then just like told the police that he was there, explained the situation, and maybe she could save the guy or whatever. It seems so far-fetched that she snatches the phone.
It's insane.
Yeah. And then there should have been like a passcode or whatever, like, or break the door down.
Yeah.
If you're so strong, you know, Josh Hartnett, right? Like, and get your phone back. Say it's like an OCD thing that you just needed your phone, you know?
Does his family know he has OCD?
Yeah.
They do?
Yeah.
Okay.
Obviously, right? With all the way things are set up in the home, you know? And why, right? Don't you think they would know that he's OCD?
I would think so. That was never said. But I guess that's my issue with
when
Shyamalan.
Lady Raven is like explaining what they know about him, like he probably has OCD. You know, he drives a black car. He's like, oh, all these things my family would know, so I need to cut her off.
Yeah,
you know.
Yeah.
So I think they must have done right,
sense.
and you just can't hide it, right? All OCD people are like complaining about it.
Oh my gosh, that's all they have to talk about.
It's like the most shade we've thrown.
No, it's not. It's not even close. That's the sad thing.
It's because we're back.
Hey, we are so back. We're back and better than ever.
Fixation is back.
Just like Marvel.
One episode every week from now on.
Yeah. That's one announcement. We're gonna do more remote stuff if we have to.
Priority is getting the pod out there.
This Joker moved away. I'm blaming him.
Yeah.
He's too lazy bones to drive 2 hours for a 4-hour podcast, bro.
Yeah, so be excited, right? Might be some special guests, you know, some people you haven't heard from before.
Yeah.
Got some stuff in the works.
Well, okay. Seriously, let us know. We were talking about this. We made a joke about it. I think we should actually do it.
What?
It Ends With Us comes out this week.
You want to go see it? I guess we have to.
Well, what I was thinking is we have 3 of our girlfriends, gal friends, I don't want to offend.
I don't understand what you're saying. What?
3 of our girls who are friends.
Okay.
I didn't want to strike a chord with you. My bad.
What are you talking about?
Go and see this. Go and see this.
What you're doing.
3 of these girls go and see the movie and then do our pod.
Okay.
And we're not here. We're not involved, but they do our categories.
One of us has to be here.
No.
Who's going to listen?
Well, either we're both here. Who's going to listen? The same people that listen to us.
How are they going to delegate? How are they going to, you know, understand the categories?
Like, who's going to be in charge?
Yeah.
Who's in charge of us, dude?
We both had different things that we delegate.
Yeah.
You know, I do the intro.
You
do the film news.
I do the entertaining stuff.
I have the jokes.
I do.
Right?
Like.
I have the quick wit, and I do the categories.
Yeah,
somewhat.
Well, we just assign those things. We'll talk about it.
Okay.
Or we could both be on with a chick guest.
Yeah.
Or 2 chick guests. But we'd have to do that.
I need a man's perspective on It Ends
on
With Us.
Abuse.
I don't know at all what it's about. I know Blake Lively's in it, and I keep seeing TikToks about it.
Yeah.
I guess it's a book, and it's a big deal.
Mm.
But we're gonna see every movie now in theaters. That's our new thing.
I'm starting my thing back up, my subscription to AMC.
To AMC Stubs.
Mm-hmm.
One's in Provo. Should I do that?
There's one in Provo?
Yeah, there's one in Provo, but that's like a 25-minute drive. Or I could go to the Cinemark, and that's like a 6-minute drive.
Yeah, for me, it's just like a money thing. If I want to see every movie, $12 a movie is pretty.
It's not a money thing for me.
Oh, brother.
I only have one person to take care of.
Yeah, you don't have some broad that just needs money. It's crazy.
Yeah.
But yeah, that's us going forward. So that's the plan. We're sticking to it. We've said that every podcast for the past 6 months, but we mean it this time. So we're sticking to it.
Do our girlfriends care about, and it ends with us? Have they talked about it?
Grace is going opening night.
Oh, she is.
Emma Turner, Brooke Banta, and who else was there?
Why didn't they invite us?
No. Sorry. Grace is going with my parents.
Okay.
Miranda. Sorry. I couldn't remember if it was Miranda or Carlisle. Neither one of them are listening, so it doesn't matter. We're all talking.
Listening?
Carlisle is probably. Carlisle.
Miranda listens too.
Miranda, Emma, and Brooke were talking at Pineview about going to see it. And then they joked about doing the pod. So that's what I was saying is like, get those three.
Should we have them?
Who have never had a presence on this podcast?
Yeah.
Just raw dog it.
Mm-hmm.
I think that would be awesome. That would be hilarious.
We can't have Grace on again.
I know. That's what I'm saying.
Killer.
Grace off.
Grace off.
Carlisle, way off.
Yeah.
I mean, we're not putting here near this thing. Okay.
We'd have to shut her mic off at some point.
Oh, stop. Only Kason can make those yapping jokes,
kidding.
man. Okay, but yeah.
No,
so
we could have
that was my thought.
Yeah.
Is those three just do it without us? I think that would be really
You don't
fun.
want to go see it?
I'll go see it.
I got us 2 tickets. So
Really?
Yeah.
You taking me to dinner?
We should do Alien Romulus though. Let's do Alien Romulus. Yeah. It's this week. It's just Thursday. I'm pretty sure. Right? Maybe not. It's probably not. No, you know what it is? It's Cuckoo. Or Cuckoo.
Oh, yeah. Cuckoo.
I'm an idiot.
With
what
our
is wrong
girl.
with me? Cuckoo.
Portends.
I need to learn how to read. I forgot. It's been a while.
It's been a bit. Can you read that? What's that say?
I know. No, there's no way. The Godfather? That's a guess.
You just memorize that, dude.
That's just because I recognize the poster.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But yeah, Hunter Schafer horror movie. We'll go see it.
We're seeing that, yeah.
Yeah.
We got to.
I'm really excited for that.
Me too.
So
got to round people up.
Yeah, maybe.
Maybe not. Yeah, no, maybe not.
Okay, cool. Well, you know the plan now going forward, audience.
Mm-hmm.
We just gave it to you. We laid it out.
Are we done with Trap?
I think so. Do you want to do anything else on it? Do you want to talk about favorite scene?
Ryan Gosling really doesn't have a place in this movie.
He could have been
the cop or Lady Raven. Yeah, that would have been good.
Who could he have been?
He could have been the profiler,
Kind of
like a smug, up and coming profiler.
Yeah.
Thinks he knows too much. You know,
Dude, put John Hamm.
give him a dark side. Make him like a Gyllenhaal.
John Hamm in that role as the profiler. I'm there all day.
So just doing the town character.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah. Perfect. He's the best part of the town. Yeah. Let me say categories, right?
All of them?
A few.
Okay, let's do a few.
What was my favorite part? I just liked. I liked the beginning. Everything in the concert.
Yeah.
You know, him figuring stuff out, him putting the oil and the grease thing. Why do you have to show that in the trailer?
Seriously.
Like all of the little things he does where he does like 3-4 things, like pushes the girl down the stairs, puts the oil in the grease, and then
lies about his daughter having leukemia.
Yeah.
He also confronts Lady Raven in her dressing room.
Yeah. But like the 2 things early on that he does, like both those are in the trailer.
Yeah.
So it's like nothing we didn't see. We saw this whole movie, like
it's a real
few
shame.
months ago when the trailer came out. So yeah, I just thought it just lost steam once he left the concert. I wanted it to kind of all be there and have it more like maybe his daughter figures out like while they're at the concert, and then he's like fully trying to escape, and it's like a cool like playground. You know, he's got all this area to roam. Yeah, trying to find him. You know,
and now all bets are off because his daughter knows he can do whatever.
It's like maybe they put her on like the speakerphone, you know, and like it could be like Die Hard. Could have turned into Die Hard.
When he snatches the walkie-talkie, I was like, they're doing a Die Hard.
Yeah.
It's just gonna be Die Hard. It didn't end up really being a Die Hard, but kind of.
Should have.
Yeah,
should have been,
better.
A bit more Die Hard in this, you know. And that's M Night should know that. He's worked with Bruce Willis like 3-4 times.
Yeah.
Should have been a consultant. It's like, you know
Dude,
what?
for real.
Hey, what do you think? You need some Die Hard in this,
Dude.
Like,
putting Josh Hartnett in like some air conditioning duct, hauling through with his MP5.
Mm-hmm.
Come out to the concert. It'll be a good time. We'll have a fun life. We'll have a few laughs.
Yeah. So, do you have a favorite part? Anything specific, or just
no? I didn't like.
You agree that the concert, or you didn't like anything?
No, I hated all of it. No, the concert's fine. I think that's where I was most interested.
Yeah.
If we're gonna do least favorite part, I've got a couple of those.
Least favorite part, I think. Yeah, just the end. Everything after the concert.
Everything after the concert, even when it really lost me, was when he pulls Lady Raven into her dressing room and he's like, you know, the crazy thing about CO2 is that your body wants the poison more than it wants oxygen.
Yeah.
These are the kind of things you know as a firefighter.
Yeah.
And then he's like trying to come off as threatening thing. But it's like, that's just super, super weird. Even if you're like a crazed sociopathic murderer, you're not saying something like that. That's just that's beyond.
And I was
cringe.
like, she doesn't understand what he's saying right now.
Yeah. And
it takes her a little too long to realize.
Yeah, she never
heard
of
slow
CO2.
reaction too when he's like, I think you're looking for me.
Yeah.
You know? And he's like, hold on, I need to, so he doesn't hear us.
Yeah.
Like, I'm running out of there.
Yeah.
Or whatever, you know? So, yeah, I didn't like her being a whole detective or whatever. And plus, I have some sort of animosity towards how famous Taylor Swift is. You know, I'll admit it. I'll finally admit it,
man.
Right?
You jealous?
And it's like, it's obviously about her. So it's like, okay, Taylor Swift solved the case, right? Taylor Swift saves everybody in the movie.
That's interesting that you equate her to Taylor Swift automatically. Like it could be any pop star in the world.
No, it couldn't be. It can only be about one pop star. Because he's like, they're all so like, they live off her every word. Like she could start a cult, you know? When he says that, I'm like, who else could start a cult? Like, come on.
The Bombshell Flowers.
They could
start a quote.
They have. I'm part of that cult.
Yeah. I'm bombshell pilled.
Sarah too. That's my favorite song of theirs.
Yeah, that's a good song.
Thanks.
Well, yeah, you're welcome.
I have good taste. Sabrina Carpenter should have been her. And she's an actress. She should have been in that role.
Yeah.
Yeah. So. Do you think he auditioned other people? Or he's like...
Yeah, I think so. He probably did.
To like, and you know, give some sort of motivation to his daughter.
Yeah.
Who's probably never had motivation in her life. You know, everything's handed to her.
Yeah. It's just so backwards, man.
Yeah. Yeah. I think we touched on that. Any behind the scenes stuff you want to talk about? We talked about how it's based off a real life event.
Yeah. I honestly do not care about behind the scenes when it comes to M. Night. Because like the way I actually, I guess I would be interested to see how it is on set. Because if he's the sole writer,
yeah,
all of his movies have such a distinct feel. I'm like, he's got to have so much control on the set.
Yeah.
And like, how do people like working with that? Especially when he's turning out like such subpar movies. Like if you're working with Denis or something and he's got control of the set.
Yeah.
You're like, oh, I'm hanging on every word and I'm doing whatever he asks. M. Night, I'm like, how?
Did you like the look of it? You know?
Sure. I mean, not really.
I thought like the stadium lights, pretty cool.
Yeah, like I said, I really didn't like
it's in a familiar venue.
I can appreciate that it's a technical challenge to film like that.
Yeah.
And you can tell, again, with like the Jumbotron choppiness. And there are a couple of scenes where the interior of the stadium is too dark. And you can see the quality drop drastically.
Yeah,
there are a couple of those.
That, yeah.
And I can appreciate that that's challenging, but at the same time, I'm like, that's just bad filmmaking. Like you can't cut that corner somehow.
Yeah.
Most of the shots looked fine, but you know. So, yeah.
Yeah. So a lot of issues. So, okay.
Great movie though. Go watch it.
Pretty good. I liked it.
Yeah.
It should have, I don't want to sound like I don't know.
No, let's hear it.
Should have been R.
4.5.
Like, should have been R. He should have been more of a serial killer.
Yeah.
You know?
Jaron likes, oh, wait.
I would look at that and I was like, yeah, I don't want to sound like an idiot. Like, why would you want that? But
yeah. No, well, I mean,
how can you have a serial killer movie that's PG-13? You know what I mean?
Yeah. And
the concept of a serial killer is in itself R-rated.
Yeah.
You know? So they held so much back.
There's the one F word that they deliver super hard.
Yeah.
And that's when you realize you're like, oh, this has been a PG-13 movie the whole time.
Yeah.
And then you kind of backtrack and you're like, oh, yeah, that's why they didn't take a risk with anything or show us anything.
Yeah.
You know?
Mm-hmm. Like, even when the girl gets burned, like, it's that, like, super far away shot.
Yeah.
You know? And, yeah. The whole stuff with his mom felt weird, too.
Yeah.
At one point, I thought it was, like, the victim's mother that he's got caged. And, yeah.
That was totally half-baked.
Yeah.
That whole thing.
Yeah. And he like knew exactly where he was, gave like perfect instructions.
Yeah.
He was able to get himself uncaptured.
I
like
could see through a hole
literally in minutes.
Yeah.
Yeah.
No way.
Not happening. And that's a vague description, right?
Blue door, broken lion statue.
Yeah.
Didn't even say it was broken. He just said something was missing from it.
Blue door. How do you know what shade of blue?
I mean, blue door's pretty. How many people you know the blue door?
I think I have I don't know.
This girl I was friends with all through elementary, and one of Kaysen's ex lovers had a blue door on her house. I distinctly remember that because she was the only one in the neighborhood. Yeah.
Why is he picking a safe house with such a distinct?
No, and that's a great point. Yeah.
Yeah.
It's full circle and why it's bad.
Yeah. There's something to be said, like how you don't think you could do any better job of escaping as he does, but you could do a way better job of catching him as a police officer.
Oh, absolutely.
And that bothered me quite a
bit.
So, but we've touched on that. So, okay, we'll wrap it up then. Next week we're going to be talking about Cuckoo, starring Hunter Schafer. It's like a last, like final girl, you know?
Yeah.
Which I like those
movies.
Yeah. Yeah. Ready or Not, Scream, love the Scream movies.
Mm-hmm.
Final Girl, super cool. So yeah, be excited for that. Be waiting for that episode to come out.
Yeah,
and then is the what's it called again? The Blake Lively movie.
It Ends With Us.
It Ends With Us. Is that coming out this weekend as well?
Yes,
okay.
I think so on Thursday.
So we might be doing both. We'll see here. We have to, right?
Yeah, we have to.
Okay, we'll discuss that, our plan for that. But thank you guys so much for listening and tuning in. You fixators, Fixation Nation, good night.